And that month is called Kartik, Damodar, because this month is very, very dear to Srimati Radharani. So even if it's your wife's birthday and you love that month, don't worry, it's coming from Parampara. Even Krishna does that. So Krishna doesn't like August, Janmashtami time. He likes this month because it's his favorite of Radharani. So this Kartik has a lot of glories. This month, in all the Vedic scriptures from Skanda Puran to Padma Puran, this month has been considered as to be the holiest of the all holy months or holy times. And it's said during this month, many of Krishna's very famous leelas, pastimes happen. And one of them is the Damodar Leela. Damodar Leela we all know, where Mother Yashoda tied Krishna, right? Damodar. Dam means rope in Sanskrit. Udhar means belly. So one whose belly is bound by the rope. Actually not the rope, because what can bind Krishna? But was bound by the love of Mother Yashoda. That was the real rope. So that Lord is called as Damodar. So this festival is to celebrate the pinnacle or the zenith of motherhood. It's actually all for ladies, actually. How glorious is Mother Yashoda. Yashoda. One who gives yash. Yash da, right? Yash means glory. And one who gives the glory. Someone who gives glory even to Krishna. Krishna is God. Who can give glory to Krishna? But Yashoda gives glory to Krishna. So that's why she becomes Yashoda. Some people in the spiritual circles, they want to become God. But here you see Yashoda, by the dint of a spiritual merit and devotional service, she's become higher than God. Somebody say, I will merge, or something like that. Let's become God. I am God. You are God. Let's play with each other. Something like that. That's various weird philosophies. But Bhakti Yoga philosophy is that we serve God in such a way that we can become even higher than God. It's a basic principle of love. The more deeper you go, the more sweeter it becomes. So you say, Krishna, I want to serve you. But Krishna says, I want to serve you. And the devotee says, I want to serve you. And Krishna says, it's like a transcendental competition between the Lord and the devotee. It's exactly like parenting. The father is serving the son or the daughter, and the daughter is trying to serve the father. It's kind of a competition. It's very healthy. Nowadays you don't see that competition much anymore. But it's there. Right? And it should be there. So this pastime is nothing but the glorification of Mother Yashoda. And especially in this month of Kartik, it's as I said, it's a very beautiful month. It's said that on the banks of Kaveri once lived a pure Brahmana, a beautiful devotee. His name was Deva Sharma. And he had a daughter, her name was Gunavati. And he also had a disciple, and Gunavati was exactly like her name. She was full of beautiful qualities. And he also had a disciple, very, very pakka disciple, very nice disciple. And his name was Chandra. And he decided that if there's anyone who's suitable for Gunavati because she's full of beautiful qualities, if there's anyone who can marry her, it should be Chandra. Those days, of course, the qualities, the character, the purity of the person was the main important characteristic. Also was seen while the time of marriage. And they both got married. Everything was going on nice. So one day, Chandra went with his guru into the forest to collect some flowers and things like that. But somehow they were attacked by a demon and who killed them actually. And when Gunavati got to know this, she got mad. Because her father, who had raised her as a child, was gone. And her husband was also gone. Now where will she go? But because she was taught by her father very nicely, although it was the most precarious time for her, very challenging at every level, in every sense, but she continued the vrata or the teachings what her father had taught her. So she did this vrata of Damodar Mas, of Kartik Mas. And it is said that one day she was so sick that actually she could not even go to take a bath. But somehow she managed her strength and she went to the Ganges, took a bath. And as soon as she came out, because she was running high fever, she dropped down dead. And as soon as she dropped down, a plane made of pure gold came down from Vaikuntha Loka, from the spiritual world. And the soul of Gunavati actually, got onto the plane and went back home to the spiritual world. And the same Gunavati, because she's now in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha realm, because she's done this Kartik Vrata, in her next birth, she comes as Satyabhama. Satyabhama is the wife, one of the principal queens of Dwarka, one of the wives of Krishna. So you can imagine the transformation. So her father came as Satyajit, as the father of Satyabhama. And Chandra appeared as Akrura. So this pastime actually is spoken by Krishna himself to Satyabhama. Because Satyabhama is asking Krishna, my dear husband, my dear Lord, what was it, or what good karma I had to become your wife, your good wife? To being an eternal consort of Sri Krishna is not a joke, right? So she was thinking, that's how a devotee thinks. Devotee never thinks that he's privileged. He's always humble. He doesn't think, just because you're in an organization, sometimes it happens in the corporate world. You spend some time, you feel like I'm entitled of certain things just because I have been around for so long. Isn't it? Devotees don't like that. Devotees always humble. So Satyabhama said, my dear Lord, what was that good karma I had done to become your good wife? And then Krishna tells this particular story, that you were Gunavati, and because you did this Kartik Mas Vrata, you offered lamb to Radha Damodar. And because of that, because you chanted my holy names, that's why you got this beautiful birth as Satyabhama, and now you're the principal queen. And you worship, Krishna says a very important point for all of us. Krishna said, and you also worship Tulasi Devi. You had a Tulasi plant outside your house. So our old generation were not crazy. They were highly scientific. They knew. Maybe they could not tell us, but they knew these simple little things, which were very powerful or potent means of spiritual advancement. So worshipping Tulasi is one of the most potent ways of getting closer to Krishna. Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Keshvasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Pratidevi Satyavate Namo Namaha. We always say that. She's a Priya of whom? Keshava, of Vishnu. And what does she give? She gives the benediction of Vishnu Bhakti or Krishna Bhakti. Right? That's the power of Tulasi. So Krishna said, because you worship Tulasi, now what you have So when Satyabhama, every queen had a different palace. Sometimes people criticize Krishna. Oh, he got so many wives. I can't handle one. He got 16,108. This is ridiculous. Right? But when Narada came, he had 16,108 palaces. One palace for separate queen. Okay? Now Narada came to one palace. Krishna is playing dice with Rukmini. He goes to the next palace. There he's eating some pakoras. In the next palace, he's having some nice discussion with Satyabhama, Jambavati, doing everything different. So Narada is perplexed. Oh my God. So he visits 16,108. There are 16,108 Krishnas doing different activities along with their own. Right? So that's Krishna's potency. So he's not an ordinary, it's easy. Like sometimes people say, let's drink ganja. Because why? Lord Shiva smokes ganja. We make that, what do you call that? Some drink. Chilam, yeah. You're right. But before chilam, you drink halal. Because that's what Lord Shiva did. He held the poison in his throat. And by that effect of that poison, his throat became blue. Yes. Nilkantha. There's a place roughly around 35, 40 kilometers from Rishikesh. And there's a temple called as Nilkantha Mahadev. That's a very spot where Lord Shiva drank the poison. That place is still there. So these leelas are not ordinary. So then Krishna said, just because you worship Tulsi in this life, in your courtyard, was the Parijata tree, which came from Swargaloka. Krishna bought the tree from Swargaloka and it was in the courtyard of Satyabhama. So the point what I'm trying to say, my dear devotees, is that anything you do for Krishna, you get it 1,000,000 times back. You're not a loser. Salpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahatomaya. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 text 40 explains that even a small step taken towards Krishna, small, it says, Swalpam api asya dharmasya. On this path of Dharma, even if you follow one small step, what will happen? Trayate mahatomaya. It will save you, it will protect you from the greatest of the dangers. And what is outside world? It's full of dangers. Yes. It's not full of maja, masti. It's full of dangers. You look at everything. Everything is running on fear. The fear factor. Whether it's on your face or whether it is in a subtle way. Cosmetic industry. What drives cosmetic industry?
Fear of getting old.
Fear of getting old. I don't want to get old. Right? It's very tough. We have all the security system. It's what? Fear factor. Ammunition factories. Fear. So everything in this material world runs on fear. So if you want to become fearless, then you must take shelter of fearless. And who's fearless? Krishna. Because fear, personified fear, fears Krishna. How does that sound? The personification of fear fears Krishna. So, and the sweetness of this devotional activity or service is shown, or the peak of that is shown in this pastime of Sri Damodar Katha, where Mother Yashoda is binding Krishna to the grinding mold. And we all know the story, beautiful pastime, that Mother Yashoda is churning butter for Krishna because she thinks he's doing theft, right? He's stealing butter from this house, other house, that house. And as a parent, you feel bad. Why? My son, they call him Makanchor. He's a butter thief. Sometimes Mataji was giving example, Vrinda Mataji, that sometimes kids get some pens, some markers from some place, and the parent, where did you get it? Mummy, I got it from that place. Go, keep it back. Because the fear factor is there. Otherwise, my children will be like, they will call him thief. Right? Stealing pencils and stuff like that. So Yashoda thought, I will churn first class butter for Krishna so that he doesn't steal. Right? And then she was churning butter. Krishna was taking sleep. He was taking rest. And while churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing the glories of Krishna. And while she was doing it, Krishna felt hungry. So he came down from the bed and saw what Mother was doing. And as any child would do, child needs
Attention.
You know what they need? Attention, yes. They need attention. You don't give them attention, they will make your life miserable, right? Krishna seek attention. Krishna stopped the journey. As if demanding, I am here, your son is here, now you must stop. You must feed me milk. And what Krishna does? Krishna raises his leg, puts one feet on the knee of Yashoda, and gets onto the lap of Mother Yashoda. And as soon as he shows this desire, what happens? The love, the unlimited love in the heart of Mother Yashoda comes out in the form of this nectar milk from her breast. And she breastfeeds Krishna. And Krishna is just so happy by drinking Mother Yashoda's milk. And the more he's drinking, the more milk is coming. It's like a competition, as I said, in terms of service, right? Krishna wants to reciprocate with Yashoda, so he's drinking milk. But the devotees also wants to serve Krishna, so more and more love, more and more milk is coming. Meanwhile, Yashoda had a pot of milk which was put on boiling. This milk was very special. This milk was from very special cows of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. How many? 900,000. And I say, wow, how many cows? Yes. It's said that one day, when Krishna was given the charge to go for cow grazing, it's called as Pauganda, approximately around 6.5 years. So Yashoda said, now with cows, you have to go deep into the forest. Imagine, right? It's only 6 years. I don't know what today's 6-year-old child can do. Maybe run a mobile or run Google or something. So he said, you have to go inside the jungle, so you must wear shoes. Krishna said, oh, is it? So till that time, Krishna never wore shoes. So Krishna said, if I will wear shoes, then you need to give shoes to all the cows. And when Yashoda heard it, she said, oh my God, you're talking of 1.8 million pair of shoes. Right? 36 lakh, right? 3.6 million shoes. So he said, how will we do it? So Krishna said, that's all right. If cows go barefoot, so will I. And as soon as these cows heard, mother cow heard, what did they do? They went to the forest of Vrindavan and they started stamping on the ground, on the soil, so much that even the soil became like a sand. You go to Vrindavan today, and you know how the soil of Vrindavan is? As soft as sand. Because they heard, Krishna's not going to wear shoes because of us. Right? That is the beauty of devotional service. So anyway, Yashoda was feeding this milk, but there was this special cows. Only 20 out of 9 lakh were very special. They would eat only fragrant grass, or like lotus. So they were called as Padma. So their milk, the fragrance was like lotus. lotus-like milk. So that was specially being boiled for Krishna. So as soon as now Yashoda is feeding Krishna, because in spiritual world everything is conscious. Everything, there is nothing called matter. Everything is conscious. So even the milk is conscious. So he said, oh my God, Yashoda is feeding Krishna unlimited milk. She has unlimited capacity to satiate Krishna's hunger. And so is Krishna as well. So if Krishna will feel satisfied by the milk of Yashoda, what is the use of my life? Better I commit suicide. And he came out. He said, let me commit suicide. And Yashoda could figure out, oh, the milk is boiling. And she went running. She kept Krishna down and went inside. Now somebody may ask, oh, how can the love of Mother Yashoda is so pure, how can she keep Krishna down and run for some milk pot? But our acharyas explain that for a devotee, what is more important is not the association of Krishna. What is more important is the service of Krishna. Sometimes the kid is with somebody else and mother is cooking. Mother would love to, of course, have the child with her. But for her, what is more important is the service to that child. So she's absorbed in the kitchen without the association of the child. Right? So Yashoda did the same thing. She left Krishna for the service of Krishna. But what happened? Krishna did not like it. He's a very adamant child, very notorious. So he said, how dare? You don't know, I am your Krishna, your only son. And you're just keeping me down? You know, half empty stomach? You know what it means? There was someone who was very hungry. And he went to some Chandal's place, some low-caste, untouchable's place. He said, I'm very hungry. He said, yes, mister, please come inside. I can offer you some food. So he offered him food. He finished it quickly. He said, I want more. He said, I had this much only. He said, oh, पेट भी नहीं भरा और जाति भी चला गया. I ate at untouchable's place and my stomach is also empty. So Krishna, with a half full stomach, is standing there looking at Mother Yashoda, what she did. And again, child needs attention and time. I was talking to a psychologist. I'm a kind of a family counselor. We were discussing some subject matters about how spirituality can bring more values and more strength to the family culture. And he made a very critical point, and I really liked that. He said, once in a while you can tell your wife, let's go out for a walk. And you go out for a walk, for 1 hour, 2 hours, you talk. You come back and you tell your wife, we had a quality time. She said, yeah, that was nice, good. But with kids, time is quality. Very simple. With wife, with adults, it depends on what you speak. No? If you have a nice conversation, you can see it was good time. No, it doesn't matter with kids. Kids, more the time, better the quality. Very simple. More the time, better the quality. So Krishna, he said, how dare you? So he picked up the stone and broke all the pots. I don't know how many mothers have such an experience. I have seen some of the Leelas kids do. Yeah? They can do a lot of mischief. Well, I don't want to share, but yeah, some really bad mischief. So Krishna broke all the pots, but he wasn't satisfied. And then on the whole floor, you will see this butter spread across. And then immediately you realized, oh my God, this is much more worse than I was thinking, you know. And then what happens at the crime scene? The criminal runs away quickly. So Krishna started to run. But while running, what happened? Because his feet touched the butter, what he was leaving behind? His footprints. Sabut chod raha tha, criminal. Right? He was leaving the clues for Mother Yashoda to catch him. And Mother Yashoda came and she saw, oh my God. She said, oh my God, he needs to be taught a lesson. And she ran after him. But Krishna wasn't satisfied. So he got onto this grinding mortar, and they would hang the butter pots. So he was pulling butter from there, and he was actually feeding to the monkey. He actually started calling monkeys. All the monkeys were his friends. Sometimes when your parents chastise you a lot, you want to do a mischief. You want to teach your parents a lesson. That now, today, I will teach my mother a lesson. I was sharing, one day, every child goes through that, so did I. My dad, one day, he gave me a lot of blessings. And I didn't like it. So what I did was, I took the piggy bank of my brother, not mine. I was smart. So I took out a 5 rupee note from there. Those days it used to be made of earthen one, right?
Yeah.
After that came these lockers, stuff, but we were those days. So I did this like this, and with my mom's hairpin, I took out this 5 rupee note. That day I went to school. Some of the boys whom I didn't even like, I told them, "Aaj party, come, we'll enjoy today." So we had gulab jamun, I still remember, the small ones. I don't know whether you remember. Aajkal ke bachchon ko they won't remember. It was going to be very small gulab jamuns, and you make a cone of a paper and you put it there with a toothpick, and then it would be hot. It used to be served hot. He would come with a stove, a small stove on his head, and on that would be this nice gulab jamun. So even the boys whom I didn't like, I told them, today is party day. I wanted to do something. So Krishna said, yes, I will bring these monkeys. And he fed them. And then as soon as he saw Mother Yashoda from a distance with a stick in her hand, Krishna started, he realized, stick? Situation is bad, it's worse, run. And he started running. And Mother Yashoda is running after Krishna with a stick in her hand. And he said, Acharya explained, what a beautiful moment, what a scene. That demigods like Shiva, Brahma, Indra are not able to even see Krishna. And they can't even see Krishna's toenail. And here you see this lady, a cowherd lady, running after Krishna's running from her. Yamaraj, Yama is fearful of Krishna, and Krishna is fearful of Mother Yashoda in a strict mood. That is the glory of motherhood. This is the pinnacle or zenith or the peak of motherhood. So it's a beautiful picture. Just by hearing this, you feel actually happy. And Mother Yashoda running after Krishna's scared. And this whole description is given. Krishna's cheeks, we're going to sing that song after the session. Krishna's cheeks are like reddish like bimbo fruits. His earrings are like shark shaped earrings like that. Beautiful, beautiful. His 3 lines, Trirekha Kantha. On his kantha there are 3 lines actually. So then Yashoda is trying to catch Krishna, but Yashoda is a little bulky because she's a little old. Krishna was born pretty late to her. So she's not able to catch Krishna. And Yashoda is wearing nice sari, the whole description. She's having a lot of flowers on her head. And some flowers are on the side of Yashoda, and some flowers are on the side of Krishna. So the flowers who are on the side of Yashoda are saying, we are making her heavy. Let's drop down so that she can catch Krishna. See, everything is conscious in spiritual world. So those flowers, center flowers, drop down at her feet, lotus feet, so that she can catch Krishna. But there are some flowers who are on the side of Krishna. What do they say? Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let's increase the weight, right? So that she doesn't catch Krishna. But ultimately, Yashoda wins. She catches Krishna. But when she looks at Krishna, Krishna's tears are coming from his eyes. Krishna knows that there's a stick. And immediately Yashoda feels, oh my God, Krishna's crying. She throws the stick. Sometimes it is said, you should not beat the child. You should show the stick, but don't beat it. Like sometimes a snake was told, maybe I should tell this story, a quick one. So there's a snake in a holy place. And many people were really frightened by him. And a sadhu came and said, why are you doing this? Just relax, it's okay. Don't trouble people. Just be quiet. And by the will of providence, you'll get some food. Don't worry, you don't have to bite people. And he stopped biting. But one day, one person realized that this snake has stopped biting. He told villagers, this rascal snake. And they started to beat him. And the snake was lying down and taking this beating because he promised the sage that I will not. So the next day, sage came and said, what have you done? What has happened? He said, like this happened. He said, I told you don't bite, but I did not tell you don't show the fangs. And then the snake said, oh, is it? All right. So that's why you should show the stick, but don't beat. But it's very difficult. I know. There's something going on, some gossip. Yeah, my mama did that. You know? So, where were we? Yeah, so Krishna starts to say, so Mother Yashoda throws a stick. And she brings some rope. She says, today I'm going to tie him up. I'll teach him a lesson. So when she got the rope, she found the rope was 2 inches short, a 2-finger short. Then she brought some more rope. Again, it was 2 fingers short. And she was like, how is this possible? What is this? What is Krishna doing? And she brings all the ropes because she was determined to tie Krishna. She said, do whatever you want to do today. We will be tied. Sometimes mother says to the child, do whatever tantrums you want to throw. You are not getting the chocolate or the food. You will sleep like that. Right? So Mother Yashoda was hell-bent. But what happened? All the ropes of the home were used, and it was 2 fingers short. She got all the ropes of all Vrindavan, that is Sankirtan, engaging everybody in service of Krishna. So everybody was getting ropes for Yashoda, for Nandarani, to tie Krishna. But every time you bought kilometers and kilometers of ropes, it was 2 fingers short. It's, of course, very difficult for us to understand, right? So, but then when Krishna saw my mother is sweating like anything, she was putting a lot of effort, and then Krishna said, all right, I will bind myself. And then Krishna binds himself. And our teachers, our acharyas explain why 2 fingers short. The first finger represents the endeavor of the living entity. And the second finger represents the mercy of Krishna. Both are needed. Both are required for the culmination of one's devotional service. Our effort and Krishna's mercy. Just on our effort, we cannot cross over. Srimad Bhagavatam explains, crossing over the material existence is like crossing an ocean holding a dog's tail. What are the chances you're going to make it? 0. So the mercy of Krishna is required. And then when she binds him up, she leaves. And then when Krishna is bound, he looks at these 2 trees. You know, there were 2 trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And these trees were the sons of, anyone knows? No, they were not mine. For sure. Huh? No, Narada is celibate. Oh my God. When did he marry? Did he tell me? I'll ask him. Sorry? Kuber, yes. Kuber, the treasurer of the demigods. Let's clap for the treasurer. You're paying for today's dinner. So they were cursed by Narada Muni to become trees. Now why would somebody curse like that? Because they were behaving like trees. So they were cursed to be trees for 100 celestial years, or 1,000 celestial years. But because Narada Muni is a devotee, his curse is also a blessing. Yes. Sometimes when mama slaps you, it's a blessing. Right? Yes. And sometimes a blessing can be a curse, and sometimes a curse can be a blessing. It depends how you take it. Isn't it? We don't want challenges in life. We want life to go easy. But challenges will come. But we can translate those challenges into opportunities, and opportunities into success, and success into legacy. If we have the right mindset. And devotees have that right mindset. So they accepted the curse, but they offered respects to Narada, the same person who cursed them, and they asked forgiveness. And Narada then said, don't worry. In Dwapar Yuga, you will see the Leela of Krishna. What even denizens cannot see, you will see it right in front of your eyes, happening in the courtyard of Nanda. And in their next birth, they become Snigdhakanta and Madhukanta. And they sing the glories of Krishna's pastimes that happen. And they know everything. Because they've seen it, right? And when they talk about this particular pastime, then they bow down humbly their head and they said, these two trees is we two brothers. So anyway, so Krishna goes towards these trees and the grinding mortar gets stuck, right? And what happens? Krishna starts to pull them. And what happened Bobby after that? Both the trees fell, a big sound. And all Vrindavan, they felt, oh, what has happened? They started running. And they saw this child, little Krishna, playing in between these two trees. And the small kids were also there. And they're saying, you know what? Who did this? Krishna did. Is it possible? There's no wind blowing, there is no hurricane, there is no typhoon, there's nothing. But they said, as soon as these trees fell, two effulgent personalities came, they offered praise to Krishna. And then these cowherd men said, oh, forget it. There's some kids, child talk. So Krishna used this instance to deliver the sons of Kuvera, Nala Kuvera and Mani Griva. There were two sons of Kuvera. So Krishna not only reciprocated with Mother Yashoda, but he also used that pastime. That's called as real multitasking. So he also, gave freedom from this terrible birth of having the body of trees for these celestial beings. And later, of course, Yashoda felt very, very bad that because of her, she was feeling this guilt. And all of a sudden, Balaram came. And Balaram said, oh, Krishna is dying. He said, who? Who is this person? How dare that whoever the person is has dared to tie Krishna. Bring him. He doesn't know that he's Narasimha, he's Lord Ram, and he started giving glories of Krishna. And Yashoda came from behind and he said, who are you? And he looked there, oh, situation is grave. He said, well, I'm Shesha. I'm Sheshnag. And Yashoda was like, oh, all the avatars had to come to my home only? And then she raised the stick again. Oh, Balram felt it's tough. So he started running. He told Krishna, sorry, bye. This is difficult. And then before leaving, he told Krishna, I told you don't stop stealing. You'll get into trouble one day. And this is the day you're in trouble. And I cannot help you. I'm sorry. When he left, Krishna started to cry more and more. And then said Nanda Maharaj came. And then he untied Krishna. And then they all went inside and had a wonderful, wonderful time. And yet then Krishna came back to Yashoda again. In a motherly, attached or attracted by her pure love, pure motherly love, Krishna came back again to Yashoda. So this pastime is to glorify the motherhood, glorify Mother Yashoda. And on this pastime, on this, during this month of Kartik, Krishna has designed in such a way that there's a benediction for each one of the living entities. Anyone who does any sort of a service during this Kartik month will get thousands and thousands of times of benefit. It is said there was once a witch. She got a witch's body, right? And she was in the forest area close to some temple, and this priest was going with his paraphernalia to worship Lord Vishnu. And he saw this witch and he got frightened and he threw this paraphernalia on the witch only, But in this paraphernalia there was a water which had tulsi leaves inside. And it fell on the witch. And actually she got liberated. And it was the month of Kartik because he was going to perform the Kartik puja. So this is the glory of this Kartik month. It's a very special month. Krishna is in a mood of giving. So now it depends, how much can you receive? We have to decide. Because Krishna doesn't decide that. He allows you to decide. He doesn't interfere in the free will of the living entity. You have that free will, whether to accept, like today, you came for the program. You have a free will whether to come or not come. You could have called and said, I am not feeling well today. And maybe sat and watched maybe some World Cup or maybe Prime, Netflix. You had the choice, but you consciously came here. And that's what Krishna is waiting for. Is when can we use our free will in the right way? So we should thank the host here, who has allowed all of us to assemble here and hear about Krishna, right? And whenever Krishna's glories are sung in the assembly of devotees, that very place becomes Vrindavan. Exactly. What is Vrindavan? Vrindavan is not the name of a place. It's where Krishna's glories are sung. It can be, so your dad today has transformed Singapore into Vrindavan, right? So we would like to thank them by chanting one Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'd like to express our gratitude by that. Thank you very much for calling us here. So we'll have Damodar Katha now. Yep. So how do we have papers?
Okay. सबने okay,
we have papers as well.
Forward on the mobile, the Damodar Katha.
Papers are not enough.
We have
Only 3-4.
print out. Okay.